with another cute guy, meteorologist John Elliott, with our first alert forecast. John, all right, so showers, another chance today?
Yes, one more chance, and then we're all going to be wagging our tails because it gets so much better. But gray skies right now, some shower activity to the south parts. Well, that's right there at the Jersey Shore down through Ocean County. And this is, again, affiliated with this stationary front that just is not moving. This is what we've been dealing with the last few days. So you have these pop-up isolated showers. And when we say isolated, we mean isolated. Skipping ahead to about 2 o'clock. See how maybe just north and east of our area or southeast of the city, we see these isolated showers with brief heavy downpour possible, and then you get a sense of that drier air taking over, so it really starts to shape up into, well, overnight tonight into Friday.
And John, not to make this about me, but I've got a bachelorette at the beach to go to this weekend. How about conditions for a trip to the beach?
Well, I mean, out Long Island way?
Yes.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, you coming?
So, and you know, our producer, Justin Lewis, he's going to the Long Island. You guys have got great weather. Yeah, you've got great weather for the trip. Now, today, it's still a little unsettled, and we do have that moderate rip current risk. Overall, weather conditions, though, are going to be great for the beach over the weekend. One other thing, too, UV index is a 5 now, but that's going to go up dramatically into the weekend. So we'll probably have UV index of an 8 or a 9 into the weekend with lots of sun.
And speaking of the beach, John, I know you've always got some important reminders and tips for us.
You know, today is World Drowning Prevention Day. Drowning is the #1 cause of accidental death in kids 1 to 4. So this is very important, and it's like Stu Leonard always says, if everybody's watching, nobody's watching. So make sure that you supervise the kids. Everybody needs to learn to swim. I know some people, sometimes you got to pay money, sometimes you got to just get into a group. Learning to swim is so important. If you can, limit alcohol around water, and then stay aware. We talk about staying aware about weather and rip currents and the environment, and also don't be afraid to use the gear. If you're on a boat, come on, life jackets. You know what they're there for. Just use them. And like we said, Natalie, some great beach weather and pool weather coming up into the weekend.
Yeah, good tips. You got to have fun, but stay safe while doing it. John, thanks so much. Well, developing this morning, a New Jersey police officer now recovering in the hospital after being shot while on duty in Union County. Officials say he was serving a warrant in Rahway when he was struck by gunfire last night. Our CBS 2's Christina Fan joining us live from outside Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick with the latest details there. Christina.
Good morning, Natalie. The New Jersey State Police Benevolent Association says the injured officer is a detective with the Perth Amboy Police Department. He is currently recovering at the hospital in stable condition after he was shot 3 times. According when shots rang out. This is what the scene looked like near Broad Street and Maple Avenue around 8:30 Wednesday evening. Police closed off a 1-block radius around the shooting site as they canvassed the neighborhood yesterday. You can see the word bullet spray painted on the ground in several places. A police officer was also seen shining a flashlight on a gun left behind on the ground. Neighbors tell us they heard gunshots, saw a slew of police officers pull out onto their street, and then witnessed 2 people taken away in handcuffs. Police have confirmed that several other people were also shot, but they haven't specified who they are or confirmed if any arrests were made. Again, that injured officer was rushed to the hospital where he is in stable condition. The PBA says fellow detectives took quick action to save his life, and they are thankful for the outpouring of support. The investigation into the shooting remains ongoing. Reporting live from New Brunswick, New Jersey, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
All right, Christina, thank you so much. And also developing this morning, a driver is hospitalized in stable condition after crashing his MTA bus into a Burger King in Brooklyn overnight. The bus was towed from the scene earlier this morning, leaving behind this gaping hole and plenty of damage. This was the chaotic scene in Kensington just a few hours earlier. Police say the driver, a man in his 50s, lost control of the bus after going into cardiac cardiac arrest. The franchise owner of that store says he's grateful the restaurant was closed at the time.
Thank God my employees were not here, the customers were not here. So, the building you can replace it, but you cannot replace the person. So that was my first reaction, what happened. I've been in business for almost 40 years. We own this over 20 years.
The bus was carrying 2 passengers who were not hurt. Well, now to the latest on the 2024 presidential campaign and President Biden's exit from the race. Vice President Kamala Harris has released her first official campaign ad, and this comes after Biden made an historic address from the Oval Office to the American people, laying out his vision for his final months as Commander-in-Chief. CBS 2's Jared Hill has more.
My fellow Americans.
From the Oval Office, President Joe Biden explained his decision to leave the 2024 race, calling it the best way to unite his party and the nation.
Nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
The president's supporters gathered outside the White House to listen to the speech, some shedding tears. Former President Donald Trump watched the historic address while leaving his rally in North Carolina. There, Trump focused his attacks on new likely Democratic nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris, frequently mispronouncing her name.
Lion Kamala Harris has been the ultra-liberal driving force behind every single Biden catastrophe.
Earlier in Indiana, Harris spoke before members of historically black sorority Zeta Phi Beta, rallying support among a crucial voting and organizing bloc.
These extremists want to take us back, but we are not going back. We are not going back.
According to a source familiar with the process, Harris is vetting around a dozen possible running mates.
What kind of country do we want to live in?
This morning, the Harris campaign has released its first official political ad, framing the 2024 election as a choice between chaos and freedom. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The Democratic National Committee is set to vote on Vice President Harris's nomination as soon as a week from today if no challenger emerges. Then the vice president is expected to announce her running mate by August 7th. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet with President Biden and Vice President Harris at the White House today. The White House visit comes one day after he delivered a fiery address to a rare joint meeting of Congress. Outside the Capitol, thousands of anti-war protesters and police clashed. Netanyahu defended his unrelenting war against Hamas.
Our enemies are your enemies. Our fight is your fight. The hands of the Jewish state will never be shackled. Israel will always defend itself.
And it's been just over 9 months since Hamas's deadly October 7th terror attack, sparking a war that's claimed nearly 40,000 Palestinian lives, many of them civilians, according to Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry. Well, now to an update regarding the MTA's congestion pricing plan. New York City Controller Brad Lander says local leaders will join him later this morning to announce a significant legal development in the fight against pausing the controversial program. About 3 weeks before its June 30th start date, Governor Kathy Hochul said the tolling plan would be delayed. This news conference will get underway at 11 a.m., happening in Lower Manhattan.